Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Destiny video. Now in today's video I want to talk to you about factions. Now factions are groups that are represented by vendors that are located around the tower that, when you get to level 20, will sell you legendary gear in exchange for reputation and marks. Now by default, when you begin the game, when you first meet your Guardian, you are aligned with the Vanguard and the Crucible factions. Crucible is, no points for guessing, for anything you do in the Crucible, and the Vanguard is for anything you do in the open world, so patrol missions, strike missions, all that stuff like that. They will all earn you appropriate reputation. Now, if you go over here and speak to this chap down here, he is the first person you will speak to when you first enter the tower. He is your Vanguard representative. Now, you look over to the side, this is your current reputation. You'll see that I am not even rank 1, I haven't really spent too much time working towards the Vanguard reputation, so that's why it's so low. Now, what we're interested in is over here, all the Vanguard Armor. You see that at level 20, I can then buy this stuff in exchange for Vanguard marks, provided I am Vanguard rank 2. You'll also notice that all the items here have various different stats, you know, intellect, discipline, strength, all stuff like that. They do look pretty cool, as you can see here, but this is only one of your options. Again, I did mention the Crucible. Crucible, there is the chap over here to the right who will sell you weapons, or the chap over here, Lord Shax, to your left, who first invites you to the Crucible and will then sell you armor. Again, really cool looking stuff. Let's bring this up here. You can see, for example, the chest. Looks pretty damn cool, but there is more to it than just Vanguard and Crucible. Vanguard and Crucible, while I said you are automatically aligned to them, are not your only choices. There are 3 other factions located around the tower: New Monarchy, Dead Orbit, and Future War Cult, or FWC. There are also supposed to be another 2, Osiris and Seraphs, I believe, but they are not currently in the game, so I guess they're going to be added at a later date. But let's take a look at the 3 existing factions. First up, you have New Monarchy, and this is actually the faction that I'm aligned with, and you'll find them down here. Go and speak to this chap, and you'll see that, as with all these guys, he will sell you a range of emblems so you can demonstrate your allegiance, a range of weapons for all your different firepower, and a range of pieces of armor. Now, they all have a complete set, so you'll have chest, gloves, head, and boots, as well as a cape. Now, the cape is the interesting thing. You need to bear in mind that because at the start of the game you're automatically aligned with the Vanguard and the Crucible, you haven't spent any time trying to work towards these guys. So the way that you do that is by buying one of these items. You see, these are the only items you can buy without having to be, you know, a rank up in that particular clan. So for example, I don't have to be rank 1 or rank 2 or anything like that. I can buy them straight out as long as I have enough money. Now, by wearing one of these, or while I do things out in the open world, for example when I'm doing missions, when I'm doing bounties, when I'm doing things like that, then I earn reputation towards this clan. Then second on the list we have Dead Orbit. If you jump over here, down in the hangar, speak to this chap over here, he is your Dead Orbit vendor. Again, same gig, range of emblems, range of weapons, and range of gear. Forgive the fact that you can't actually see the colours in here. I'm currently wearing a shader, so that's why everything looks red and gold, but this armour would be black and white, and New Monarchy is black and red. No, sorry, not black and red, white and red. There you go. So, these are your set of armour, or these are kind of pieces from the Dead Orbit guys. And lastly you have the Future War Cult, who you will find up here. If you run up towards the lady that would repair your sparrow right at the beginning of the game, and you spin around and got this staircase, you'll find that this lady here, standing by the window, is your Future War Cult vendor. And once again, same gig. Emblems, weapons, gear. So, now you know where the different vendors are. The question is, which one do you want to align yourself with? Now yes, admittedly you could align yourself with all of them. You could spend your time, you know, ranking up one reputation, then you switch your banner, your cloak, your tabard, whatever you want to call it. You switch that, you rank up the next one, and you keep going. And yes, you can actually do that. It will take you a long time because reputation is not fast to gain, but you can do it. But in the meantime, you're obviously going to need to pick one first. So the question is, how do you pick? Now yes, you could do what I would ordinarily do and just say, hey, which one has the coolest looking armor, and then go and choose that one. But given that I wanted to be sensible this time around, I decided I'm going to go with the actual sensible option and decide stat-wise which one is best. So the next question is, how do you decide? Well, if I bring up my character here and you take a look at the 3 important stats, I'm going to select a random piece of armor, this will do for now, and I hover over these. Ignore light. Light is obviously a really important thing, but that's not what we're looking at for now. What we're looking at is intellect, discipline, and strength. Now intellect, as it says here, intellect decreases the cooldown time of Arc Blade, allowing you to use it more often. Now Arc Blade is my super for the Blade Dancer class, so you can read this as intellect decreases the cooldown time for supers. Discipline decreases the cooldown time for your grenades, allowing you to use them more often. And strength reduces the cooldown time of Blink Strike, allowing you to use it more often. Now Blink Strike is the modifier for my melee attack, so you can read this as strength reduces the cooldown time for your kind of melee ability. So, supers, grenades, melee. Now you need to think, how do you play as a character? Because this is going to determine what you do. I, for one, being a blade dancer, use my super a hell of a lot, and I also use melee a hell of a lot, because obviously once my super runs out, I'm up close and personal, so I do like to sort of stab them to finish it off. So I therefore want a set that is really good in strength and really good in intellect, and that just so happens to be the new Monarchy. Again, if we run back to our good old-fashioned guys here, and go and check out their gear, you can actually see...
Here's the goods.
Put it up over here. Their helmets have plus 47 intellect and plus 48 strength. Of course, they also do have various different abilities down below. For example, melee hits replenish grenade energy and whatnot. But the important thing is the stats. What is important to you? Perhaps you're one of these characters that really likes to use grenades. Maybe grenades are the bread and butter of your move or your kind of playstyle, in which case you're going to want to go for discipline. Or perhaps, you know, you're a Titan and perhaps melee is your main focal point, then strength is going to be all about it. But the question is, you know, what you really need to do is determine what is most important to you as a character. And then once you do that, that will determine what you then go with. To summarise, Dead Orbit are good for melee and grenades, or discipline and strength. Future War Cult are good for grenades and super, or intellect and discipline. And New Monarchy are good for super and melees, or intellect and strength. So, there you have it. They are your options. But you might then ask, what about the Vanguard? Surely I want to just go with them. If I've been building up my reputation throughout the game, why would I want to switch? Well, allow me to demonstrate. Yes, the Vanguard do sell gear, and yes, it is still good, and it is completely viable. But if you are trying to build a particular kind of stat boost or something like that, then it's not going to be ideal. The reason I say that is because if you look at their gear, it's a bit of a mishmash. The helmet, for example, intellect and discipline. The arm, intellect and discipline. The chest, on the other hand, intellect and strength. The legs, intellect and discipline. So you see, you start to get the picture that you won't get a uniform spread of your stats. Now, maybe you want this. Maybe you want to have a bit in each, so that way you can actually get the kind of benefits of a bit of grenade cooldown, a bit of super cooldown, and a bit of melee cooldown. But if you do really want to be sort of proficient in one thing, you know, you want to have really fast supers, constantly use them all the time, or really fast, you know, melees or different things like that, then you really are going to want to start thinking. Because the Vanguard, while it's good armor, while it'll give you the light stats you want, it'll give you the levels you want, and it'll probably get you into the raids and stuff like that, might not be the best distribution of points. And therefore, that's why you don't necessarily want to kind of just go for the Vanguard just because it's convenient. So then, once you've chosen your faction, as I said, all you want to do is go and purchase one of their banners, as you can see here. Their cloak, you know, cloak if you're a hunter, tabard if you're a Titan, or a kind of band or whatever it is called, like an armband or something like that if you're a warlock. But once you've got that, as I say, you wear it whenever you do stuff, and then you will gain a reputation towards them. It does obviously say that you gain it when doing things like, you know, bounties and whatnot, but I found that I gain it also through things like Crucible and just sort of passively doing, you know, strikes and the like. But either way, you wear it, you gather your XP, and then once you get enough XP, once you get enough reputation, you can then start buying their awesome gear. Now this is a great easy way to kind of get gear. Obviously if you're waiting to sort of like build up things for the raid, then you are going to need to grind their reputation, but it is a surefire way to be able to actually buy gear without having to wait for drops. And that's all there really is to it. So just to kind of summarise, Future War Cult, Dead Orbit, and New Monarchy are the factions that you can choose to align yourself with, each of whom are good for different things. So make sure you read them carefully, look at them carefully, and think about how you play as a player, and that should determine what faction you go with. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you found it helpful, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit the like button and show your support. That does really help me out, and obviously don't forget to subscribe for daily gaming videos. Thanks again for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.